So thank you so much again for coming out this morning. My name is Brian McNamara. I am a senior project manager with KaBOOM. For those of you who are not familiar with KaBOOM, KaBOOM is the national nonprofit dedicated to ensuring that all kids get the balance and active play they need. Since our founding in 1996, we've built over 3,000 playgrounds all across North America. We're here today thanks to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, City of Rocky Mount Parks and Recreation, and the Rocky Mount Housing Authority. We are super excited to be partnering with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina for the 11th time and the City of Rocky Mount for the 3rd time. So let's give it up for everyone who's been on some of those bills. And by a show of hands, how many of you have been on a KaBOOM playground build before? Raise it high, raise it high. Let's give them a round of applause for coming back and not being scared away. To give you a little background on this project, we met with both kids and adults within the community here surrounding Aycock Park about 2 months ago. We had kids ages from 2 to 13, 14 years old come out and actually help to design the playground. So all the colors, the components, the equipment that we're building today is based on the needs, the wants, and the desires and dreams of all the kids here in this community. So we couldn't be more excited to give them a brand new play space in just a short amount of time. Before we go ahead and officially get started and talk through the day, I want to introduce a few speakers. So first, we're going to have Council Member and Mayor Pro Tem for 2018, Lois Watkins. Let's give her a big round of applause.
I would like to welcome you to our KaBOOM Playground build this morning. And this day is made possible, as Brian said already, through KaBOOM, the City of Rocky Mount, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and the Rocky Mount Housing Authority. But I would like for us to take a minute just to give a very special thank you to all of those community members and volunteers who we have here today. So let's do it one more time, please. Yeah, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. So in about 6 hours today, we would have helped to transform this site into a kids' playground that was designed, as Brian said, by the community on July 9th. And as he also said, more than 40 adults and over 50 children attended, and the children drew out their own ideals, and the adults actually chose the equipment based on the drawings that the kids made. And so I'm very excited to see this playground be installed today. And also, I'm excited about what's coming afterwards in the few weeks to follow. The basketball court, the picnic area, and the walking trail. That's all coming to Aycock Park. So, yeah, so we're really happy about that. It's a long time in the making. And so finally, I would like to say that, as you know, more than 2,000 residents who live within a 10-minute walking distance will have access to this park, and citizens all over the city. And so we're hopeful that they will enjoy this park and just look forward to building relationships through the activities of the park in generations to come. This park will serve the whole family. And so with that being said, I would now like to welcome our Rocky Mount City Manager, Rochelle Small-Tony.
Good morning, everyone. Is that better? I'm Rocky Mount City Manager Rochelle Small-Tony, and I'm going to start by piggybacking off of what the Mayor Pro Tem Watkins stated earlier, and that's giving a huge thank you again to all of our volunteers today, to the Rocky Mount Housing Authority, to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and to the City of Rocky Mount Parks and Recreation Department. I also don't want to forget the community members who have been planning the logistics for this day for the past 8 weeks. I honestly don't think we can thank all of you enough. If you are here today, you understand that the impact Aycock Park has on the residents within this community and in the City of Rocky Mount is tremendous. Within a half mile of this park, there is an elementary school, a middle school, public housing, churches, and an assisted living facility. So that means this park will serve a number of people who need it. For young people, parks provide a safe haven, a place for positive interaction off the streets and out of trouble. Quality parks and recreation are also one of the top reasons families choose to live in certain locations, creating positive economic development. I'm thanking you again and again and again because you have taken the future of this park into your own hands. The park was purchased by the city in the 1970s, and the deed required the property to remain a park in perpetuity. The previous playground installation happened in 1998, and that's really 20 years ago. So you can imagine there were aged dugouts, an aged swing set, and more that needed to be changed. But it is your input and creativity that will transform this site into a new one your community and our city will love. Gandhi once said, "The future depends on what you do today." Thanks again for working today to secure a bright future for Aycock Park and for the citizens of Rocky Mount. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, and last but not least, I want to invite up CEO and President of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, Patrick Conway.
Thanks everyone on this nice cool day. Appreciate you coming out. I grew up in Texas, so this is very familiar. This is my first KaBOOM build. I'm incredibly excited to work with all of you. I want to thank all the volunteers as well. I will say I've been a little surprised. I've now had over 20 people say to me, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You're supposed to just come and cut the ribbon." So I plan to work on either cement or mulch, because I've heard they're the hardest jobs that will make me sweat the most, so I'm excited about that. Thanks to the city of Rocky Mount for welcoming us. Thank you to KaBOOM for organizing, and thank you to the Rocky Mount Housing Authority as well. As many of you know, I'm a practicing pediatrician. I took care of kids in the hospital this weekend. Only 1 in 4 kids get the recommended daily amount of exercise. We know exercise in children has long-term health benefits, long-term cost savings for the system. It makes happier, healthy children and families. So here we're creating a safe space for people to live, work, and play. And it's going to have a large positive health outcomes for the people in this community and the children for the long term. I will say I'm the father of 4 children, and I told my kids across the breakfast table today, where they were bickering with each other a little bit, what I was doing, and they all looked at me and they said, "Dad, you're building a playground for kids." I said, "Yes." I said, "Why don't you build a playground for us in the backyard?" So I'm now in trouble and have a little work to do when I get home. So in all seriousness, thank you everybody for coming out today. Huge impact, and thanks for all the Blue Cross volunteers and all the volunteers from across the community again. Appreciate your work.
So if you want to, all team leaders, if you can spread out, we're going to get the DJ started. If you can find your way over to your team, good luck, have a great day, and stay hydrated. Alrighty, volunteers, volunteers. In just 6 hours, we built this beautiful playground here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I want you to give yourselves a huge round of applause for all your hard work today. In just under 6 hours, we had 198 volunteers from all of our partners. So let's give one more big round of applause to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, the City of Rocky Mount Parks and Recreation, the Rocky Mount Housing Authority, and all the wonderful community volunteers who came out today. Give them a big round of applause. All right, in just under 6 hours, we had 198 volunteers mix over 20,000 pounds of concrete. Raise your hand if you were on that concrete team today. Give them a round of applause. We mixed 20,000 pounds of concrete. We moved over 130 cubic yards of mulch, which is about 2 elephants worth. Give yourselves a huge pat on the back, round of applause for moving all that mulch all day. And to close out the day before we send you on your way, I want to introduce a few speakers. So I want to bring up Mayor David Combs to speak on behalf of the City of Rocky Mount.
He's a little taller than I am. Thank you. I felt really bad. I drove up in an air-conditioned vehicle. I got out in my starch shirt, and when I walked up, Kelvin said, "How about some water?" And I felt bad about taking it because all of you were out here working so hard. It's an amazing sight to drive up, though, and see all of the people that are here today, and I cannot thank you enough on behalf of the City of Rocky Mount for your investment in the City of Rocky Mount. I know some of you came in from buses outside the City of Rocky Mount, and you live other places, but you're here in our community today putting in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it's going to pay off for the people that live in this community. I told Kelvin, my first house was a block away here. It was a long time ago. It was $26,000 that I bought back in the early 70s. And so this was a place that I lived right around the corner in many years ago. I do want to thank Blue Cross Blue Shield. I want to thank KaBOOM. I want to thank the Parks and Recreation Department, the Rocky Mount Housing Authority, and all of the volunteers that came out here today. This is a different approach. We had a meeting, and we had about 50 children come to that meeting and help design what they'd like to see in a park, which is unusual for us. And then the adults ordered the equipment and decided on what decisions were going to be made here in this park. But it's a great facility. We've got 55 parks here in the City of Rocky Mount, and many of them are neighborhood parks, and not all of them have had an upgrade over the years. So we are really, really appreciative of all the time and effort that's been put into here. Also, after the install today, there's going to be a basketball court installed here, a walking trail around the perimeter, and a picnic area. So there's still going to be some more improvements made to this park over the years. But again, it's a great day in the City of Rocky Mount. Thank you so much for being in our community. Thank you for what you do. And again, we just can't say enough thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good afternoon, Team KaBOOM. This is my first KaBOOM build, and I tell you, I really enjoyed working hand in hand with you, putting in flowers, trees, mulch. Didn't do the concrete, but y'all did an awesome job. The Rocky Mount Housing Authority, north of here, to my left and your right, we have 210 families. And those 210 families probably have about 2.4 children per household. Don't ask me to explain the 0.4. But there's been a transformation of this park today. And your labors and hard work certainly will bring joy to the children's eyes, because they should be getting out of school right about now. And they're just chomping at the bit to come out here and play on this new playground. And we thank you very much.
Hi, Blue. How's everybody doing? All right. So I have to say, it's been interesting to watch how people's shirts have turned different shades of blue as the day has gone on. So just to recap some of what you've heard today. So the heat index is about 100 right now. We have a total of 200 volunteers, 198. I'm in marketing, so I round up. 200 volunteers in 6 hours. And if you just look back, and we're going to walk over there in a minute, to what we've done is just really impressive. And so as you listen to Kelvin about the kids that are going to be coming here today, and the sweat that we've all given today, and the number of bottles of water has been off the charts, but it's going to pay off for years and years to come. So just a big thank you. And I know to the Blue Cross employees, this is a proud moment. You know, the energy here is just electric, and people are really giving it all that they've got, and taking a day out of the office is really hard. And we appreciate that, and the kids that are about to see this and their families, that you've really changed their lives, are appreciative of that as well. So really, good things are happen when you come together and really focus on that greater good. And having said that, again, want to call out our partnership with the Rocky Mount Housing Authority and the City of Rocky Mount for letting us be a part of this. I did talk to the mayor and said, you know, we could have some more trees here, maybe a little shade next time, get the heat to come down a little bit. He said he'd work on it if we would come build another playground soon. So a big partnership. The Superdome, I just want to give a shout out to the Superdome. I think we were all cheering the Superdome on, and everyone. Everyone did an awesome job, no matter what they were doing. But I've got lots of pictures of how many people were on the Superdome trying to figure that out. So big thank you. I would like to recognize the team leaders for the build. If you can join me on stage. So the team leaders for the build who've been here for the last 2+ days, getting ready for this build. Put a lot of effort into this. So just come right up here. And I'm going to ask them to join me with the ribbon cutting here in just a minute, but I want you all to see their faces and give them a raise the roof or shout out or whatever. So thank you all. Yes. Oh yes. Look at the different colored shirts, right? Different blues. Yep. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to the mayor, who would like to do another recognition. Thank you.
I do want to recognize one person that's here today, Steve Warren. Steve has been with us for 35 years in our Parks and Recreation Department. I don't know how much time and effort he's put into our parks over the years, but I can tell you it's an awful lot. And I want to say thank you, Steve, for all of your years with the City of Rocky Mount, and thank you for all your efforts.